All right, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Walden Art. Today I have the Sacrificers. This is, what is this called? Giant Size Artist Proof Edition. So this is almost like an art edition, but this is a little bit thinner from Image Comics. But before we take a look at this, check out my website. My name is Walden Wong. I'm a comic book artist from Marvel and DC. My website is waldenwongart.com. And over there, there's different artwork that I've done for different publishers, so you can check that out. And if you enjoy these videos, think about supporting me over on my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/waldenwongart. There's different tiers that you show support, as well as a mentorship tier. So if you want an artist like me to critique your work, I can also do that as well. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Sacrificers Artist Proof. What is it? Giant Size Artist Proof. So here we go. Alright, so this is the Sacrificers from Image Comics 1 and 2. This one is for $24.99. Giant Generator. And by the Sacrificers, written by Rick Remender and Max Rumura. Giant Size Artist Proof Edition. So this is a really thin book, but it looks like an artist edition on the back. Here is the scans. So to show you the size of this this book, here's a regular graphic novel size, so you can see the size wise. But unlike a artist edition, the cover has like a little bit of blue lines, but when I look on the inside, it looks like the finished art. It doesn't look like that much of artist edition. So we're gonna take a look at this. I haven't seen this myself. A little bit story about Rick Remender. Rick, I don't know if he still lives in San Francisco. I'm pretty sure he lives in the Bay Area. He used to be an inker. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. And then I used to go over to his studio. I think it was like Channels. The studio they had was called Channel something. It was Channel 3, Channel 7, or Channel 4, or whatever. It's not a TV channel. It's actually a studio that he shared with John Hebink, Karen Dwyer, a painter, John Estates, I think. And at one point, they asked me if I wanted to join their studio. And this is when I was working on like JLA at the time. And then they needed a studio mate. But I had my own studio at my own home, so I didn't really need to join the studio. But then that's where I met Rick Remender. Rick was actually inking over Karen Dwyer on I think Avengers at the time. And then it was much later that he started writing, and then now he made such a great name for himself. So Rick, if you're watching this video, it's been a while since I've seen you. Congratulations on all your success. I remember the last time I saw you was at a Office Max. That was only a few blocks from Channel 13. That was the name of the studio. That's what it was. Yeah, so the studio was to be on Channel 13 in San Francisco. I think it was like on Clement Street or something. Clement or California Street. I remember going there and then meeting up with one of their studio mates, John Hebink, and we would go eat lunch at a Japanese restaurant over there. So here's some of the artwork. So this one looks like there's a lot of gray tones over here. I don't know if this book was done in color. I didn't actually buy the floppy comics or the graphic novel when it first came out. I only bought this because I like artist editions. Okay, and this is really well done. This is printed in the original 11 by 17 size, the larger size. So a comic book artist will work on this size. A lot of gray wash over here. So when I say gray wash, what gray wash is what they'll do is they'll take a bottle of ink and they'll dilute it with water just to get the right inking tones. So when you're doing comics, you instead of everything being black and white, you can get gray tones. Back then, comics used to be just black or white, but with production and scanning these days, and scanning in grayscale, scanning colors, comic book artists can do it in gray tones or do watercolors and scan in full color. Having gray tones, there's more depth to the artwork as opposed to just a regular black and white artwork. This Max guy draws really well. Very nice. Very, very cool artwork. Very, very nice drawing. Figures are nicely drawn. The weight of the figures, the angles, the composition, the sequential storytelling, very cool. Okay, we're going to take a look at the next page, The Sacrificers, Rick Remender, writer, Max Fiumura, artist, Dave McCraig, colors. I have also worked with Dave McCraig many years ago. I worked with Dave before he started working for Marvel and DC or Image. We used to work on a book called inmates, prisoner of society. I was one of the artists, and he was also a colorist. I remember meeting him, and then we had like dinner in San Diego, along with the penciler and the writer of that book at the time. So, wow. So this book here, with seeing all those names, all those artists and colorists and writers, brings me back to when I first started working in comics. Okay, so here's more. So that's one of the things about working in comics that I enjoy. You work with all these people, and then in the beginning they weren't really like a big name, or they didn't really do a lot of work. And just like me, I didn't really do a lot of work. We all just started out. After a while, all of us started getting more work and getting more projects, and then we see fellow co-artists name, fellow freelancers artists name, and they get popular, and I'm so happy for how well they've done. If I see them at a convention, I'm definitely gonna say hi and maybe grab a drink or grab dinner or something. This is probably a panel that's very easy to draw. Okay. You can probably draw sequential squares and use ink to fill it in, or just use Photoshop, just drop in, blah, 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 blah. Okay, probably the lettering would take more work than drawing these black panels. Okay, here's this one. Very nice, nice spread. Okay, let's take a look at the spread again. And then here's this. Okay, and then issue 1 cover. Here's how the covers look like, the pencils. You see the pencils, and then I think that's the finished inks with gray wash on top of it. Okay, and then we have this one here, right over here. Okay, some of the character designs. So I'm gonna bring this in closer to the camera so we all can see some of the character designs. Okay, we have some here. Very cool work. Yeah, Rick Remender has worked on a lot of books. He's also moved on to do TV writing stuff. Some of his properties some of his projects that he worked on has become TV shows. He worked with a bunch of my friends, like Eric Nguyen, on what is that book that they're working on that they've done. It escapes me at the moment, but they worked on a book. Eric Nguyen was also an artist that I met a long time ago in San Diego Comic-Con. Oh my gosh, if you remember that book that Rick Remender and Eric Nguyen worked on, please comment down below, okay? But then they worked on a book together, Something Girl. Yeah, it was Something Girl. Anyway, comment down below if you know. And here's the back cover by Max. Okay, so not too much going on the top, not too much on the spine. Here's the spine. Okay, and then here's the bottom. I actually ordered this from Discount Comic Book Service, and then when it shipped it to me, it was all mangled. Like if you look here, it was kind of like right over here. It's kind of bent a little bit, but that's okay. Like, you know, it's not like I can put this in a bag of board or anything. But there you have it. We're going to take a look at the credits one more time. Right over here. Okay, and then here's the inside. And then this was printed in 2024, September 2024. I just got this recently. Actually, I got it maybe a few months ago, which was 2024. And then we have all of this. So that there you have it. That is the Sacrificers Giant Size Artist Proof Edition. So there you have it. That's the Giant Size Artist Edition of Sacrificer. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, my name is Walden Wong. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And check out my website. It's waldenwongart.com. And if you enjoy these videos and want to show support, think about supporting me over on my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/waldenwongart. Over there, there's different tiers, and if you want to do a mentorship tier, I can also do that for you. So that is this Artist Edition, Giant Size Artist Edition of the Sacrificers. Here we go. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.